Hello everyone, good evening. If you can hear me well, please type on the chat window so that I'm sure you can hear me. Hi Bindu, hi Abhi, hi Kiran, hi Nitin, hi Ayushi. Great Shivaram, thank you so much. I'm so glad you can hear me. Cool. So so another very interesting webinar today. Today we are going to have, what we've been focusing on over the last couple of webinars is making sure that you get to know something new, what you might not know about. And the idea is to give you that information about different kind of courses, also put you through the right people so that you also understand what it takes to get to where they are. So with that, let's get started. Thank you so much. Have a good evening, all of you, and welcome to today's session. Um, as usual, if you could just tell me where you're joining from, it always, helps me understand where all I'm, where all we've been able to reach out to. So if you could just put in on the chat window where you're joining from, it'll be amazing. Cool. I'm from Bangalore and Chahat is in US. And cool, we have someone from Vishakhapatnam, Ayushi from Jamshedpur, Senthil from US, cool, Chennai, Bangalore, Vizag, Pune, awesome, Bangalore. I have some people from Ecuador and Lagos. Normally, I don't see them today. So cool. So, welcome all of you once again, and let's get started. Let me just give you a brief about some ground rules and some, some uh, uh, what do you say, plans of how we'll plan the entire session today. So, if you have any questions, please post it on the Q&A window. For generic queries, please post it on the chat window. We will definitely answer every question which is in the scope of this webinar at the end of the session. So I will make sure we answer all the questions. So don't worry. You can just put it on the Q&A window as and when it comes. But we will like to take it in the end of the session so that we don't break the flow of the whole session. Cool. So let me just introduce myself. I'm Shreekala. I'm one of the co-founders of Crackpurple. I also head the admissions team here. I worked for HP for quite some time. I had a 7-year stint with HP before I joined Crackpurple full time. I'm also one of the Goldman Sachs ISB 10,000 Women Entrepreneur Fellow. I'm also part of the Cherry Blay Foundation, where I help women entrepreneurs across the world. And at Crackable, I focus on helping students getting into top MBA and master's program. And yeah, that's almost a decade of experience right now with Crackable, right? And with that, let me just introduce Chahat. Chahat, welcome. If you could just quickly introduce yourself before I get on to the Q&A part with you. And you can just give me an idea, give the people who are watching us an idea about what we are doing right now, what you're doing.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. My name is Chahat. I am based out of San Jose in the US. Just to give you a bit background, I did my bachelor's in engineering from Punjab Engineering College in India, and then spent around 5 years working in the software industry, working with SAP and a bunch of startups. And after that, I decided to pursue a management course, a Master of Science degree in Engineering and Management from MIT, and happy to talk more about that.
Awesome. So, Chahat, tell us a little bit about your educational background pre-MIT, right? So, tell us what you were doing in India after your engineering. What was your stint before that, and what did you do at that time?
Sure. I spent most of my higher education in Chandigarh itself, and after that, I was fortunate enough to get an admit from Punjab Engineering College in Chandigarh, and spent around 4 years doing my bachelor's in information technology, getting more hands-on with computer science and the coding aspects of the world, and then got a job at SAP as an early talent hire, and spent about 5 years working there.
Okay. So, what was your job role at SAP? Was it more since did you do like computer science engineering, or what was your engineering background?
So yeah, engineering, it was IT, and computer science was like a mix of it was primarily information technology, but yeah, it had a blend of computer science courses as well. So the job role was software engineer. I started as a software engineer with the company with SAP,
Hmm.
and then worked on product developments for a lot of enterprise products,
Hmm.
and then transitioned to different roles in the product development lifecycle, such as Scrum Master, Project Lead, and a Product Development Lead
Hmm.
during the course of 5 years, where I spent with SAP, and experienced different functions within a product development lifecycle.
Hmm. So, 5 years is a great time. You mentioned you had great career progression too, right? From software engineer to project
Yeah,
lead to, and SAP is a great brand name too, right? So,
yeah.
what was that whole thought of, why did that whole thought of an higher education come to your mind? You were doing, I remember, meeting you that time, and we had a lot of discussions around, how you would want to plan your next steps. So what was that whole thought? And even after doing so well in, great, doing in a great company and great career
Mhm.
progression, what was that thought of, and why did that thought of an higher education come to your mind?
I guess early on in my career, I realized that more than just doing coding, I enjoy working on challenging customer problems. Talking to customers, understanding their needs, and then working with cross-functional teams to ship innovative solutions and create tangible impact.
Hmm.
So that's when I realized, I guess it was around 2013, and that I needed to pivot my career in that direction, and started to take more on the similar responsibilities, shadowing different product managers, working with different startups in India. I also started my own company in India, where we built a SaaS platform for non-profits.
Hmm.
And that's how I decided I need to think about what are the other options that I have that can help me achieve those goals, career goals. And that's when I started to explore different options, whether it's totally on the management side, technical MBA. What are the other options that I can pursue to get to the career goals that I really wanted to?
Right, right. So, always when you plan for an higher education, there is this big monster called GMAT or GRE that is always
Yeah,
coming to everybody's mind, right? Which is our bread and butter, by the way.
yeah.
So, how did you go about that? And, what was your first step? Did you first look at what are the programs you want to apply to, or did you say, okay, let me just focus on the GMAT, aspect of it, and then I will think of where to apply? So tell me a little bit about this journey also.
I guess since I had the clarity on what I really wanted to do after, on getting in higher education per se, I was primarily looking for 1 year management courses, not a typical 2 year management courses. And that's where I guess there are limited number of 1 year MBA courses that are being offered globally. So I had a short list of couple of courses, and then started my GMAT prep, and I guess gave multiple attempts to reach the desired score. And I got tremendous help from Crackable also in getting the desired score that I wanted. And yeah, that's how I went about doing GMAT prep, getting help from you guys, and then getting the desired score before I applied to the couple of schools that I wanted to apply.
So, Chad, a lot of people, when the biggest problem they face is, working and preparing together, right? You are in the completely in the same boat.
Yeah,
If you have to give some suggestions to people who are preparing right now, working in parallel, work from home has made work even more hectic
more challenging.
than,
Yeah.
because there is no transition that is happening from work life to personal life. So what do you think, you face the same same issues, right, when you were preparing for GMAT.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you have to give one suggestion to people in terms of what they should focus on when they plan for, I know that was quite some time back, but if you could give one suggestion to them on how they should plan this whole thing, what would that be?
I guess the key thing that I learned from my GMAT and preparation journey is having built on strong fundamentals. I guess GMAT official guide is the Bible, but making sure that your fundamentals are totally in place. You have very good understanding on the all the basic concepts, and at the same time making sure that you are giving mocks in the right settings, right?
Hmm.
Making sure that you are following the 4 hour typical actual test journey,
Hmm.
what you're going to experience on the test day.
Hmm.
So practicing that environment many times really helps. At least in my case, that was the key challenge that I was facing,
Hmm.
making sure that I'm practicing within the 4 hour time limit and doing, giving the required breaks.
Hmm.
And also, making sure that it's like the right level of preparation. I'm not doing a lot, not doing excess in either ways, having a right balance on the verbal and the quant preparation. I guess that's a key thing.
Right, right. So, right now, I think with the pandemic, GMAT also started the online option now,
Okay.
a couple of months ago, obviously. So, now students can actually take an online plus the offline option, especially for areas where the centers are open. That is something that, we have got mixed reviews. Some people have found it very, at least they scored high. Some people feel
Mhm.
that it was not a very easy way, because there's a proctor who's watching you and things like that. Right now, some schools this year, so round 4 also last year for the 2020 intake, there were some schools that waived off GMAT. This year too, some schools have, for a very few schools, around 4 or 5 of them have waived off GMAT,
Yeah.
for this year's intake too, specifically for people who might not have been able to. So, people who are watching us, and I would want to take a quick poll here to just understand how many of you, at what stage are you? Have you taken your GMAT or GRE? Have what have you not taken? Are you planning to take soon, or you haven't planned yet? If you could just tell us a little bit about it. All right. So I have, yeah, I request all of you to attempt so that I get some good stats on what I'm looking for. So I have a lot of people who are taking soon. That's great, which means I'm sure you're geared up for round 2. Very few who've already taken it. A lot of people have still not planned. Great. So yeah, all the best for people who are taking soon, and all those who have taken the GMAT already. I'm sure you're planning your application part also. So that's great. So round 2 is something that you'd be geared up with, I guess, right? So cool. Next aspect is why MIT, right? And what were the other schools that you had in mind? You mentioned that you were looking at a 1 year program. You already had a
Yep.
3 year experience, and why did you specifically choose MIT? And were there some parameters that you had in mind that you would want to focus on, uh, apart from the aspect that it was a 1 year program?
So yeah, apart from thinking about the 1 year management courses, other aspect that I had in mind was courses that were inclined more towards technology. I really wanted to be in technology, especially on the product management side and long term into venture capital. So having courses and schools that are more focused on the technology aspect of the jobs and providing that career opportunities.
Hmm.
And especially with MIT overall, MIT, having it's like the kind of heart of the technology innovation and the kind of way things happen here. So I guess that was like the key decision making, key decision criteria on why I selected MIT over other B schools that I was considering.
Right, right.
And in terms of making sure that I am getting a right blend of management and technical expertise that I was really looking forward to.
Right. Right. So, what is the application process? How does it happen? Is it similar to how it happens for all other, say, MBA programs, or is there some difference in the way this happens at SDM?
So at SDM, it's I guess I came to know about SDM again from Crackovils. I went about talking to a couple of alumni and getting know more about the program. And the application process again, it's quite similar to other MBA program, MBA application process. You need to submit your statement of objectives, essays, your resume, and your entire career background, employment history, and extracurricular activities and other things apart from submitting your standard test scores.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's pretty much similar. You need to also submit a video essay along with your application.
Hmm.
And then once you submit your application, you are offered an interview process.
Hmm.
You are offered an interview call,
Hmm.
and that can happen online. And then once you clear that, and that's how the shortlisting, the whole application cycle works.
Okay. So, in terms of the interview process, again, is that because this is a techno managerial kind of a program, do they emphasize on the technical aspect of it also, or they are still looking at, the management
I
aspect of it, or similar to what how an MBA interview is?
I guess compared to other MBA programs, SDM specifically values people who already have engineering background. So that's like the key foundation or key thing that they look for in the applicants.
Mm-hmm.
And during the interview process and in the entire application process, they look for leadership examples, how you have led teams, how you have successfully managed cross-functional initiatives, how you can balance the engineering and management aspects of a job effectively. So looking for those aspects in the application as well as in the interview process.
All right, all right, all right. And and the timelines of when you have to apply, is that similar to how it is for an MBA program too?
I guess that's where I guess that's a different journey. So I guess this program has two deadline options in terms of they have one deadline in January and another in March,
Hmm.
compared to the traditional MBA programs having round one in September and round two in November, December timeframe.
Okay.
So yeah, you need to keep a separate track of, especially for SDM program, the deadlines and the interview process. That will happen in January, March timeframe.
All right, all right. And however, the intake still remains same, right? They don't have two cycles; they just have one cycle, right?
And no, they do have two cycles. One is January, and then the other intake is in March. They have two deadlines, round one and round two.
Okay. Oh, but
And
do they
round,
all join the same batch, or do they have
yeah, they do. They saw all the folks join in the same
same?
batch, incoming batch.
Okay.
And but yeah, internationals are advised to apply in the round one so that the visa processing and other things are taken care of.
Right, right. So, Chahat, tell us a little bit more about this program because, what is the class size? What is the focus of this? When it says system design and management, what is
Yeah,
the whole focus? If somebody is looking at it, is there an average experience that they should be looking
yeah.
at? What do you feel that it would have been better if you had, say, XYZ in your profile to actually
Uh-huh.
leverage this the most? Is there something, tell us, everything that you can about this program?
Sure.
We would love to hear about it.
So, just about the program, as you can see from the name, it's like a intersection of how system design and management. It's like an integration of engineering, design, and management aspects.
Uh-huh.
So you can, the program has a core curriculum that is focused on building a new framework around systems thinking.
Okay.
It's another way of solving, challenges in the industry, whether it is more on the engineering side or it's on the management side.
Mm-hmm.
So the core curriculum is focused on building that systems thinking mindset of problem solving, basically taking holistic approach when you address any problem, whether it is around core, technical design, engineering, or about managing people and organization.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's like a core piece at MIT Sloan, especially the emphasis on system dynamics. And that's how systems thinking is it is taught at SDM program.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the flexibility to choose foundation and elective courses from any school of engineering at MIT, whether
Wow.
it is electronics and computer science or any other department.
Mm.
And on the management side as well, from Sloan School of Management, you are free to choose all the elective courses and kind of build your own curriculum path that you want to pursue.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. And how big is the cohort, in terms of the class
So
size?
it's relatively short compared to the other MBA programs. So the typical cohort size is around 55 to 60 people,
Okay.
and the average work experience is around 9 to 10 years.
Okay.
I had my batchmates where one of my batchmates, she had 33 years of experience,
Wow.
and
Wow.
people have already done masters or MBAs or PhDs before
Mm.
they enter into the program. It's slightly targeted for mid-career professionals.
Mm.
I was on the younger end of the my batchmates,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's how the cohort demographics is structured.
Okay.
And in terms of the application process, it's again quite similar. You need to write your statement of objectives, essays, resume,
Mm.
submit all that. I guess there are three reference letters that they ask for, three
Okay.
references,
Okay.
and then it's like quite comprehensive compared to a typical MBA program in terms of what are the other things you need to submit.
Right.
And then once you submit the application, you are shortlisted for an interview, and once you clear the interview, that's how you get the final offer.
Right. So, how diverse is the class in terms of, because it's a small size class, right? How diverse is it? How many Indians are there? Is there like a higher number of Asians compared to other parts? So how diverse is the class?
So out of around 60 odd people in my batch, I had my batchmates who were from more, I guess the cohort size, fetched, they were belong to more than 20 different countries across the globe.
Wow.
We, though there was a higher emphasis on Indians, I guess there were around 12 to 15 Indians overall in my batch.
Okay.
But overall it's quite diverse, highly diverse group. There are like people with different backgrounds. They are not, apart from having an engineering blend, but having worked in different areas of career areas, whether it is around defense, military, or a typical engineering or management side.
Hmm.
And then in terms of age group also, people are typically highly experienced before they enter into the program.
Right. So, Chahat, you have studied in India and you have gone through the Indian education system.
Yeah.
Now, studying in MIT, right? Again,
Mhm.
a big brand name,
Yeah.
completely different culture, 20 different nationalities. How different was education for you over there? Like, what was, if you have to say, okay, this is one major difference which I never thought I would have been exposed to. What kind of, what would that be?
I guess there is a famous phrase that getting education from MIT is like drinking fire from a fire hose. It's like quite challenging and quite intimidating. There are like blunt, plenty of options that you can pursue and get more exposure on the things that you enjoy and care about,
Hmm.
whether it is around the cohort, or pursuing any other course at MIT, different schools
Hmm.
and different programs.
Hmm.
So that's one thing, getting access to that set of background and people with different perspectives. And at the same time, right, with SDM, you have a lot of flexibility in terms of what courses you can pick. And at the same time, right, if you want to, you know, combine your degree with some other offerings that MIT provides, you can especially, you can also get your Master of Science degree at from any engineering school at MIT
Okay.
along with SDM. So
Oh,
let's say if you get an admit from into SDM,
hmm.
you can pick and choose your curriculum and get your Master of Science degree in computer science as well from MIT. So that's the
Okay.
kind of flexibility that the program offers and MIT offers. So that's like really great.
Okay. So there is something called a credit system, right? Like you,
Yeah,
for you to have a master's, there is some 32 credits or something that you need to
yeah.
have. So how does this work when you're taking courses from, say, MIT Sloan School of Management to, focus on the electives which are more on the management? So how does these credits get added to your, set of credits? Or how does that work?
Sure. So especially from Sloan School of Management, you need to complete a set of there are like foundation and elective courses that you need to complete.
Mm-hmm.
And once you do that, then you are open to, pick any more courses at Sloan School of Management or School of Engineering.
Hmm.
And, again, the course can be completed in within 18 months, 24 months, or more than that if you want to stay more.
Okay.
It's quite flexible in that respect, but you need to complete a certain set of credits, both especially from Sloan School of Management, to get SDM degree.
All right, all right. And this definitely is STEM, correct?
Yeah, so it's a STEM
STEM.
degree. Yeah,
All right, all right. So, how was it, being part of, say, the MBA cohort also? Because that again is a different category, and I think
yeah,
there's a larger class, right? So, how is
yes.
that exposure? And tell us a little bit about that aspect too.
So yeah, when you take courses at Sloan School of Management along with other MBA folks as well as other programs at MIT. There are other management programs also. So that's like again an enriching experience.
So, what
You
kind of courses? Can you tell me what were the kind of electives you could choose specifically?
So on the electives, yeah, anything, whether it is around marketing, whether it is
Okay.
around, introduction to marketing management, introduction to operations management,
Okay.
pricing, data analytics, corporate strategy, entrepreneurial strategy, advanced strategy courses.
Okay.
So you have all the options available at MIT Sloan School of Management that you can pursue.
All right, all right. That's awesome. That's awesome. So cool. So, that's extremely interesting. So one aspect is that you follow the path of the SDM thing, which is a techno managerial role,
Yeah.
and you also have the flexibility to take electives from the Sloan School of Management and Sloan School of Engineering. So, is this specifically, for people from the SDM program, or say, for example, if anyone gets into an MBA program, they also get to do that?
I guess if you let's say if I am a MBA admit at MIT Sloan School of Management, I can pursue other courses, but I don't think so. People can easily do that given the kind of workload that you have to do um, in your required course.
Right.
But with SDM, I guess you have to do courses at other schools at MIT, other schools and other programs at MIT. So that's like a definite edge. If you have the clarity at the beginning of the program,
Hmm.
what kind of career path you want to shape out of this program, or what are the key things that you want to take,
You
you
can do.
can you have the flexibility to choose programs from Sloan School of Management, School of Engineering, MIT Media Lab, and whatnot.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. So, in terms of, the like normally for a master's program, you can get into, say, internships, and even for an MBA, you get like a 2 month internship. How does it work
Mhm.
for a program like SDM, which is a relatively
It's
like
20
a one
hours.
year program, right? So, how does that work over there? Do you
So, yeah,
get to do internships?
yeah. So typically people complete the program within 18 months. So that's like the average time people take to complete SDM program.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes one summer internship period where you have the option to pursue internships in the desired job role and the desired industry.
Uh-huh.
And again, you get access to career resources from SDM, MIT, and you are deeply integrated with the different clubs and activities at MIT Sloan School of Management, networking opportunities. So
Right.
that's really helpful. And yeah, to land up an internship and pursue a desired internship and get some relevant experience.
All right. And do you also get something called assistantships, like graduate assistantships or research assistantships as part of this program?
So yeah, that's like on the financial side, you are open to do research assistantship, teaching assistantship to get to balance your financial and educational needs.
Hmm.
So that's like a good option where majority of my cohort pursued that option, and they were doing RA ship or TA ship for some, at least one of the course, for some course at MIT.
Right. So I think that is definitely an edge over, say, an MBA program where, it is too tough for them to, I'm not sure whether MBA has that option, right? Where they get to do assistantships because the course is very hectic, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
So I guess the key differentiator for SDM is the flexibility. You can design your curriculum in the way you want
right.
and based on your career goals,
All right.
and have different options at your hand.
Awesome, awesome. So, in terms of fellowships and scholarships, how does that work? Because it is still quite an expensive program, right? So,
Yeah.
how does this work in terms of, do you get scholarships? You apply, or after you get in, can you apply for fellowships? Like most schools in US have those kind of options, right? So, how does that work in the SDM program?
So on the scholarship side, there are limited options, but on the fellowship side, whether it is around research assistant or teaching assistant,
Hmm.
you after you get enrolled, you can directly reach out to the professors or the faculty,
Hmm.
and apply for the courses that you want to provide some value add to the course as well as to the faculty, and get paid at the same time. So it's like after you get an admit, you need to start that process.
Right. So typically, how much is that, like, per month? If you have to put it in dollars, how much would that come out to?
I didn't pursue any RA ship, TA ship, so I don't have the exact number at the top of my head, but I believe I have seen people covering 30 to 40% of their tuition and living expenses
Yeah,
per semester.
right, right.
Yeah.
That's great money, right? At least you'll.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and in some cases it's on the higher end also, 50 to 60%, depending on the course that you are pursuing.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. So that's great information. So here, what we've also done is, created a list of few other courses that you could look at. Like, for example, NYU has something called Masters of Science in Information Systems. The MECOMS has something with respect to technology. NUS has something with respect to management. The experience level might change, across these programs, but these are also programs which can land you to management level roles. So if you're specifically interested in these kind of programs, you could explore these programs. There are obviously a lot more. What we've tried to do is just put it on, at least one slide to give you some more ideas, because if you have a slightly different inclination to make it like a techno managerial kind of a role, you could look at these kind of programs. Some require a lot more experience, some require less experience. Say, for example, an NUS masters in management are typically for people with lesser experience compared to people who apply for an MBA program, right? So you could look at these kind of programs, right? So in terms of your expectations from a program, and your actual experiences at MIT, right? So whenever you go for a program, there are certain things that you already have in your mind, right? So was there a difference in terms of expectations? And if you have to pick, apart from the flexibility aspect of it, obviously you got to do courses from the MBA and other parts of, and taking more electives around it. Apart from the diverse cohort, is there anything else that you would like to share, which you believe is a key to MIT, and a key to this specific program that you pursue?
Sure. In terms of expectation, I guess I really looked at the career profiles of the alumni for this program before I chose this program, and people have been doing really well in, whether it is around product management or other management roles within the technology industry. So that was one of the again decision making criteria. But in terms of expectation, I was quite confident that the program will help me achieve my short term goals,
Hmm.
landing up a product management job and the career path.
Hmm.
But I was not very confident whether it will help me in the long term career objectives, especially if I want to land up in venture capital in industry in the long term.
Hmm.
But with this program, I actually was able to do that as well. So with this program, you need to complete a thesis also. That's
Oh,
like a research thing that you have to do under a professor, any professor at MIT.
okay.
And I was able to do a research work around how artificial intelligence could be used in venture capital. And I worked with a professor at MIT Sloan School of Management, got access to the leading venture capital firms, was able to build my network,
Hmm.
and I was able to at least not only fulfill my short-term career objectives but also on the long term.
Okay.
Having a venture capital experience, do some courses, building up the network. So
Hmm.
that was really helpful.
Awesome, awesome. That's extremely informative. In terms of international students, is there anything specific that they need to have? Like you mentioned, one is the average experience is slightly higher at MIT
Yeah,
for this particular program, and then the GMAT aspect. Is there anything
yeah,
specific that they look from a profile perspective? Like you mentioned, right? You are from a core technical kind of a background, and but you
yeah,
also had a little bit of leadership and product manager
yeah,
experience even at SAP. So,
yeah.
is there anything specific that this program looks at from a profile?
I guess engineering background is one thing, and at the same time, having more leadership experiences under your belt and having a diverse experience is another factor,
Hmm.
especially with any program and with this team as well.
Hmm. All right, all right. Um, what kind of job roles is typically people get into after this particular program? Like, what are the different kind of options people get into? So,
So,
then product management is one. What
yeah.
are the other aspects?
So I have seen people getting into program management as well, doing getting into management consulting, McKinsey,
Okay.
typical associate path. So I have seen folks getting into that as well.
Hmm.
I have seen people going into investment banking also in
Hmm.
finance sector.
Okay.
No, not a traditional banker per se,
Hmm.
but doing some role, doing some career path, building a career path in the finance industry as well.
Hmm.
And then operations is another thing, operations management, venture capital also of late. I saw one of my batchmates getting in, doing some, emergence and, doing some venture capital career path with one of the firms here.
Hmm.
So it's quite diverse. You are, product management, program management, operations, finance, and management consulting.
Right. So, a lot of people talk about, the alumni network, right? So,
Hmm.
the SDM network is, a small cohort size and a smaller network. Do you get access to the MIT Sloan MBA network? How does the
Yeah.
whole alumni network thing work?
So yeah, alumni network is again, you have your SDM alumni network, you have the entire Sloan alumni network, also the overall broader MIT network.
Hmm.
So you have, you can reach out to anyone from Sloan or from SDM or from, typically in general from MIT. So you have different platforms where you can facilitate conversations and build up your network with the desired folks.
Right, right. And in terms of career services, how does that work? Does the school help, or do you have to take the initiative to go attend seminars or career fairs? How does it work in terms of the job aspects post the program?
So yeah, SDM has a dedicated career office, and they provide a lot of services in terms of getting access to the job opportunities, building some connections, but majority mainly, the key thing that you look for in a job is, building the right network,
Hmm.
and that you have to do on your own. Getting into the right events, reaching out to the right people,
Hmm.
talking to the right people, and building up your network, and that's how you land up interviews and you convert something.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's great. So cool. So what we will do now is we'll take questions. Before that, let me just tell you, all those people who are looking at help and planning to apply this year for the 2021 intake, we help students with the whole application process. So this is typically how what you see on the screen. This is how we go through the entire process, where we brainstorm, and you are assigned a mentor, typically a mentor from one of the top schools, and we have multiple round of reviews till you are ready to apply to that particular school, right? So if you're looking at help with respect to your applications, we have something special for the round 2 deadline. Please reach out to us. My colleague Rachel is just putting the link and the email ID. You can drop your resume. Let us know what kind of programs you're looking at. If you're looking at applying for this year, what kind of help you want, and also to understand whether evaluate whether how you are fit for the round 2 applications, right? So we would love to help you out with those aspects. So please reach out to us at enquiry@crackable.com if you want to understand more about how we are going to do this and what are we. So basically we have very specific offer for the round 2 thing, so you can just reach out to us and let us know. We would definitely love to help you out, right? Cool. So let me just take up questions now from one second. Let me just open the Q&A window. All right. So I have the Q&A window. So there's someone who says, I have 13 years of experience in R&D and manufacturing for electrical equipments. I have a BTech as well as an MTech degree in design engineering. Do you think it is a good option to apply for the Sloan Fellow program?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that's like the typical profile that SDM entertains.
Hmm.
So yeah, I believe that's like a good experience and the kind of right engineering blend that SDM looks for. So yeah,
All right.
absolutely yes.
Right. So cool, Manish. So answer your question, I think you definitely should go ahead and explore this option. Like Chahat mentioned, January is the deadline. If you've already taken your GMAT, then I guess you should gear up right now, right? So the next question we have is on sponsorships and whether GMAT and EA is taken for Sloan programs. I think we've already spoken about, okay, this is sponsorship, not scholarship. I think it'll work the same, right? How for any other MBA program. So if you have somebody who's there to sponsor
Willing to
you.
sponsor you?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
basically, I'll just give you a brief on how this works. So, if say for example you have a relative or someone who's ready to sponsor you, the loan that you get has a relatively lower interest rate based on the credit history of the person who's sponsoring you, and that way it definitely is of a better help. Whether it is GMAT versus EA is the executive assessment, which is a shorter form of GMAT. I would suggest you could just go and check on the school's website to get that information. It's better to get more authentic information from the school's website, right? So similar thing for the average tuition fee for the course. Please go to MIT Sloan SDM program website. You'll get the exact number. It might have changed from what Chahat
mhm.
took to now. So, and plus a dollar cost also keeps changing. So, it
Yeah.
would be great if you could just go ahead and look at from the school's website. Um, did you have to take any loan, for this program?
Yeah, I did take a educational loan,
Hmm.
and that's offered by different financial institutions.
Hmm.
So Prodigy Finance is one of the institution that offers loan to SDM students.
Right, right. So yeah, you can check out Prodigy Finance. Is there are some other financial companies called Brain Capital also. You can check
Yeah.
those things too, which actually specifically focus on helping students with education loan from top schools, right? So if you're from the top 100, kind of school, they definitely help you with those loans. So you definitely want to check that out. There's someone who says, I have a similar mindset as yours, Chahat, but I plan to come back and settle in India after a couple of years working, in the US. Do you think this course has a good, valid, equivalent value in India?
Um, that's slightly hard to answer, but I feel given the MIT brand name and the Sloan tag that you get, I'm sure you will be able to do equally well compared to other B schools in India
Yeah, yeah. So
in
I
getting
think
that
the
career
MIT
aspects.
brand, yeah, to answer, the question, what Chahat also mentioned, I agree that the MIT brand name will value a lot. And also, what also happens is after you have been in US and you've worked there with, whatever role you have, you are picking up from there to come back to India,
Yeah.
right? So there's definitely a lot of value over there. So there is another question which says, how is this course designed for people who are specifically interested in project or program management? I think Chahat already mentioned this, that you could take specific electives from the MIT Sloan School of Management. So is that it, or is there something else to it, Chahat? Maybe.
So there is one more point, especially the core curriculum at SDM. It is geared towards project and program management as well.
Hmm.
So you get that knowledge and expertise as part of the core curriculum at SDM as well,
Right, right.
apart
There's
from taking electives.
right. There's another question here. I have 14 years of experience in project and program management. I have a master's in engineering. Would SDM be a good option for me?
Absolutely. And if you are looking to get into, more getting to shoulder more responsibilities in your career, absolutely yes.
Yeah. So I say, when people talk about project management or program management, I'm assuming, I mean, this could be across the technology sector too, right? So there's
Yeah.
still a techno managerial role. I think what will be extremely important over here is also to understand why do you want to do this course and what
Yeah.
do you want to do next, right? Since you already have a master's in engineering, if you come with a very good clarity on why you believe this would be interesting or helpful for you for, like Chahat said, right, short term goals, long term goals, you'll have to be slightly more clear about those aspects. And if you're clear, definitely it might be a great option for you to apply to, right? um well, somebody's asking about the range of, okay, maybe it is a good question to ask. What is the average GMAT score of your class, especially Indian applicants, because that may be more relevant to us.
I guess the average GMAT score is around 710 with the
Okay.
latest class profile that I came to know.
Okay.
And I believe with Indians also anywhere in the plus 20 range or plus minus 20 range, mainly
Hmm.
on the plus 20 range is a good score, I believe.
All right. All right. Right, you're applying to MIT, so there
Yeah.
might be a little higher.
Yeah.
Also, if most of the students are applying with, so did you see anyone who had a lower GMAT score? Like lower than 700 or 650, 660 ranging scores?
No, it's around 700, 740, 750. So in that range.
Okay, all right, all right. Um, Okay, so I think then there's a question which says, what is the typical course that would you could look for somebody who's doing software engineering and wants to work in product management. I guess if you have 2 years experience right now, you could look at MBA programs if you're specifically looking at product management, because this kind of program is specifically for people with little higher experience than just 2 years experience, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe you would want to spend more time getting some more work experience and then
Yeah.
apply to a
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think that's about it. Is there any other question? I can wait. Otherwise, thank you so much, Chahat. It was amazing talking to you, and we got some really great insights about this course. Anyone has any other question, please put it on the chat window or the Q&A window. I have both open in front of me. And for people who are looking at help applying, please reach out to us at inquiry@crackable.com. Please send us your resume. Let us help you evaluate your chances for R2, help you select the kind of programs you would want to apply to. We would love to do that. Okay, there's one more question here. Oh, okay. Does the post-study US policies affect placements for SDM?
Uh, right now, compared to the typical MBA program, we get 3 years of OPT extension. So that's like a good thing to make sure that you get your H1B visa in that time frame. But I guess with um, uh, the uh, the current things happening with the US government, I guess things are looking positive overall. I don't see any big challenges for, let's say, internationals getting access to job opportunities and visas in the near future.
Right. That's really good to hear, because this 2020 year has been, globally not great for anyone in
Yeah,
the whole world. So, yeah, hope to see. I think there is definitely a lot of hope after Biden
yeah.
has come, and, definitely looks a lot more positive. There's one last question talking about masters in business. Yes, it might be a great alternative to an MBA too. Mostly what I have seen for master's business is typically for people with slightly lesser experience. So you might want to explore the kind of curriculum they have, and what exactly, predominantly is the difference between, MBA versus MIB in terms of the curriculum aspect of it. There's someone who says, I've been 12 years experience in the oil and gas industry, mainly welding, construction, and quality, with not a great GPA. Would SDM be suitable for me?
I guess, yeah, again, if you have career clarity on what you want to do after SDM, sure, yes, you have SDM provides the kind of similar cohort size. There are people with similar background, similar experiences, and you have plenty of options to build your curriculum path. So I would say yes,
But
depending on the career path.
right, so Chahat, if this person does not have the technology inclination, technology background, though has engineering as a background, but not work technically in technology, will it still work for the SDM
Yeah,
profile?
sure, absolutely, yes. I guess as long as you have engineering, credentials, basically, education or
Okay,
somewhere else,
okay,
and then whether it's on the management side or kind of a different any role that you have worked in on that industry, I guess
okay.
that really helps.
Okay, so it does not necessarily have to be, say, technology, like a software technology kind of
No,
thing. It can
no,
be
no.
engineering, manufacturing sector also.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah, yeah.
All right, great, great. Oh, that's great information, and thank you so much. Oh, I have a few more questions. Okay, MIT is recognized everywhere in the world. So anyone who's saying UK, Europe, yes, it is recognized. How much does a GPA weigh in the selection process? Maybe, yeah, this might be a good question to answer.
Um, I I guess GP emphasis is not that much, though it has some weightage on your academic bucket.
Hmm.
But overall, if you have a more number of experience under your belt, that also adds, more weight to your profile.
Right. So I think,
So
great point over here, what Chahat also mentioned, right? Now, when you're looking at someone who's applying with, say, 8 years, 12 years experience,
yeah,
GPA is something that happened a decade
yeah,
ago,
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
giving value to that, and again, this is not something that you can change. So I think
yeah,
if you would want to actually control a lower GPA, maybe you could focus on a higher GMAT score, right? So that could
yeah,
be a good option to
yeah.
actually prove that you're academically capable to apply for
Yes,
this program.
that's right. Yeah,
Cool. Cool. So thank you so much, Chahat. It was lovely talking to you. Great
same here.
catching up with you after so long, and
Yeah,
really, really interesting and a very, very informational session. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I hope this was helpful, and we will look forward to seeing you again in the next webinar with another interesting topic. Thank you, Chahat. Thank you so much. Have a
thank
lovely
you.
weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye, all of you. Thank you.